I am third generation Harlem. My grandparents on my dad's side and my great aunt on my mom's side were the first generation. Growing up, I was very close to my great aunt, who was an original tenant of Lenox Terrace, where I live now. My family has always believed in giving back. My great aunt helped organize her Democratic Club to go to the 1963 March on Washington. Growing up and hearing stories about that, I developed an interest in community service and civic engagement and connecting to the Harlem community. While attending Brown University, I did a double major in Africana Studies and Literary Arts. I learned about my history, my heritage, and my culture. I learned about Afrocentricity, Black liberation, and most importantly, abolition. Abolition is the vision and practical reality of ending police, jails, and prisons. The institutions that keep so many of our Black and brown people brutalized and behind bars. Central Harlem, my home, has a high policing presence and as a result has one of the highest incarceration rates in the city. I kept asking myself, how do we hold police accountable? What do we do after we know that police have done wrong? The civilian complaint review boards don't have any actual power and have failed New York residents. We need new policy, an elected civilian review board that has firing and suspension power over the local police, supported by investment in communities. The best way for me to do that is by joining the New York City Council for District 9. I know how to do it. I know how we can hold police accountable. It's important to remember that violent crime is a small fraction of what police arrest people for, less than 5% nationwide by one estimate. The vast majority of incarcerated people are incarcerated for non-violent offenses that have been criminalized. Homelessness, having mental health needs, being differently abled. Let's cut this out. Of course, we can have safety without police. We have innovative examples of how that's worked in New York City, but unfortunately, we have invested more in policing in the past than we have in the things that bring us true safety. What brings us true safety? Since 2014, the New York City Community Schools Initiative has put wraparound services in public schools. More social workers, more food for students, more efforts to engage parents and stop absenteeism. A study of this program showed community schools resulted in increased school attendance, improved grade progression and graduation rates, reductions in disciplinary incidents, an increased connection to adults and peers. Spending on education in a way NYC had never done before put our youth on the track to better education and better lives. Safety without cops. Other research has shown that summer youth job programs can decrease violent crime arrests for program participants. The researchers suspect it may have something to do with building relationships with other youth and knowing how to resolve conflicts peacefully. Safety without cops. It was my faith that brought abolitionist thought into greater clarity. What's more true to my faith than believing in peace, freedom from oppression, and that everybody has inherent value? These core values are at the root of giving everybody freedom from hunger, freedom to quality education, to healthcare, including mental health care. These core values do not include police, jails, and prisons. We are in a nationwide movement to cut funding from police, jails, and prisons. New Yorkers take to the streets every day. Yet the New York City government continues to fail their people, refusing to listen to the Black and brown voices that lead this movement. As a matter of fact, community schools were cut by $9.2 million in the current city budget. Furthermore, teachers are fundraising for their own personal protective equipment. But it doesn't have to be this way. It is possible to divest or take money away from police and invest in social services. Our neighbors in D.C. just cut funding from their police department and invested it in an intensive workforce program with wraparound social services. If we use proven solutions that decrease violence, we can cut the number of police. It just takes the power of the people. When I think about abolition, I remember that march that my great aunt helped to organize, paving the way to a more thoughtful society. One where we don't have to spend $6 billion on police and over $9 billion on jails. So, elect me to the New York City Council District 9. I am going to bring the people power and pave the road towards abolition. That's me, Kristin Richardson Jordan, for Harlem.